Country Reroll has stayed consistent from patch to patch, and it's currently one of the strongest comps in the game from certain spots. And in this video, I'll be covering everything you need to know about the comp. This is a slow roll comp that wants to get 3-star units, and we'll get those by slow rolling at level 7. And we will do that with some variation of this board. Our slow roll board will change it a little depending on who our headliner is. The best case scenario is to hit Country Samira, as we easily fit in 5 Country to our level 7 board. This also works with Country Urgot as our headliner as well. With Executioner Samira, we can add in Katarina, or we can drop down to 3 Country to go for 4 Executioners. Overall, the best case scenario is to hit Country Samira, then Country Urgot, then Executioner Samira. Don't go for Mosher Urgot, as it's really awkward to fit in 4 Mosher, and overall, that trait is just not that strong. Since this is a reroll comp, we want to hit many 3-stars. Our 3-star priority is Samira, Amumu, Urgot, then Set. Note that you can easily top 4 with just Samira 3-star, but you'll usually need a couple more 3-stars to place in 2nd or 1st place. Samira is our main carry, so we prioritize making items for her first. She has 1 core item, and that is Infinity Edge. This is due to how her spell works. Since we get attack speed whenever one of our attacks critically strike, we really want Infinity Edge on Samira, as it gives us a ton of crit chance. Her second item wants to be another crit item. Our options are Last Whisper, Hodge, QSS, and Guardbreaker. Since we get attack speed from her ability, we don't really need QSS, and since we are single target damage, this means we will get low value from Guardbreaker. We also don't always need healing, which means that we don't really need Hodge, which means that Last Whisper will be our second crit item. This item also shreds armor, which is crucial for Samira to get through tanks. Her third item can be any damage or healing item. The best 3 options are Deathblade, Hodge, Giant Slayer, or Hurricane. You will make whichever one you can out of these, so don't pick one over the other unless you absolutely need the healing from Hodge or the extra damage to high health targets from Giant Slayer. After you made items for Samira, we want to make items for Urgot. He will be your secondary carry in all games unless he is the headliner. Urgot has 1 core item, and that is a healing item. Both BT and Hodge work, although BT is better. His second and third items want to be damage items. Since we are already making items for Samira, it will be difficult to get great items on Urgot as well, but ideally you make either Red Buff, Sterex, Giant Slayer, Deathblade, or Titans as his second and third items. With your remaining items, you want to make tank items. This will go on Thresh, Set, or Amumu. Which you pick depends on if you are 3-starring any of them or not, and also which you find first. Here is a tier list of the best tank items to place on any of those 3, but keep in mind that we need to focus on making items for Samira and Urgot first, so slam whichever tank items you can that don't use up components for them. If you get a spatula, the only useful emblem is Emo, but this is not even that great for this comp, so if you get a spatula, you will either make Emo Thresh, so that he can cast faster, or you will just ignore the spatula unless you can make a Tactician's Crown with it. The best portals to pick with this comp are Radiant Item, 3-cost Champion, Scuttle Puddle, Prismatic Symphony, Prismatic Finale, Unit Accelerator, and Golden Finale. The best augments for this comp are You Have My Sword, Team Building, Big Grab Bag, Pandora's Items, Threes a Crowd, You Have My Bow, Blistering Strikes, Healing Orbs, Harm Assist, New Recruit, Expose Weakness, Radiant Relics, Tiny Titans, Silver Veil, Inspiring Epitaph, and Crash Test Dummies. I mentioned a lot of augments there, and the best ones out of those are You Have My Sword, Big Grab Bag, Threes a Crowd, You Have My Bow, Blistering Strikes, and Crash Test Dummies. If all that info was a lot to take in, then check out the cheat sheet for this comp. It's available for patrons and YouTube members. Here is the Lux cheat sheet from the last set, so you know what to expect for the Country Reroll cheat sheet that is available right now. In the early game, you have a lot of different options, but ideally you will end up with Samira and 3 Country. But if you don't hit Samira, then Big Shots are my go-to. Since we don't get access to any 3-cost headliners until level 6 and 7, we want to pick up any headliner that we can use as a backline carry or as a tank. In the early game, we can play both a loss streak and a win streak playstyle. Since we aren't slow rolling until level 7, we can pretty much play this as if we were playing any other standard leveling comp. Another thing to note about the early game is that you generally will not assume that you're playing Urgot as the main carry, as you need to have him as the headliner to do so. Therefore, don't make items for Urgot on stage 2 unless they are for your early game carry. You can always make Samira or tank items though, and that's about it for stage 2. After the correct round on stage 3-1, you don't really need any specific traits active, as the country-specific augments are not that great as of patch 13.24b. During stage 3, you don't want to roll on stage 3 too. This is because our odds of hitting a 3-cost headliner is relatively low here, so we would rather wait until level 7 before we roll. But if you are heavy loss streaking, consider going level 7 on stage 3-5 and then look for a better headliner there to stop the bleeding. But most of the time, you will just play stage 3 as you would with any other standard leveling comp and then hit level 7 with 50 gold on stage 4-1. Once you reach level 7, you want to find your slow roll board. Again, the exact board depends on which headliner you hit. The best case scenario is to hit Country Samira, after that Country Urgot as our headliner, and then the last best, but still acceptable, is Executioner Samira, where you pick 5 Country or 4 Executioner with her. Note that if you are in a good spot and you find Executioner Samira, you can skip it, as the next time Samira shows up as the headliner, then it will 100% be a Country Samira as the headliner. In spots where you have a lot of golden HP, then this is worth greeting for, but in most circumstances, it will not be worth it. When slow rolling, make sure to always sell off your old headliner, so we can find our preferred one faster. And our 3-star priority when slow rolling is Samira, Amumu, Urgot, then Set. But in the case where you hit Country Urgot as your headliner, he is the number 1 priority. By stage 5-1, you will need to start thinking about rolling down for your 3-stars if you haven't hit them already. The reason for this is that on stage 5-1, almost every player will all-in at level 8, and we will take a lot of damage if we don't power spike with them. But you don't have to panic and roll right away though. Sometimes, if you are healthy, then you can sit at level 7 for a couple more turns. But note that once you get closer to 30 HP, then you need to start thinking about going all-in for 3-stars, as you are close to dying out at that threshold. Once you've hit all your 3-stars, you will push towards level 8 or 9. Usually, the play is to go level 8 and then roll for the rest of your 3 costs to 3-stars, while also looking for the 8th unit to add in. Which unit you add in depends a lot on what the headliner is and which version you're running, but most of the time, the 8th unit is either Ilaoi or Yorick. Note that you can also drop some units that you didn't 3-star. For example, if you didn't hit a Mumu 3-star at level 8, then you can drop him and Vex for better units like legendaries. And if you are able to push to level 9, you want to keep adding in legendaries and units that support your strongest carries. This can be pivoting into 4 Executioners, 4 Bruisers, 4 Guardian, or just going for the wide spread of traits and utility champions. You can also check out this guide in a written format over on Tactor, and if you want to see more of my written guides over there, then check out my profile to see more of the other content I've created on that platform. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want cheat sheets for any of my comp guides, they're available for you to members and patrons, and the links to join those are down in the description. And if you want to get better at TFT, join the Discord. We got over 9,000 other players there who are hungry to climb. And if you want to get coached by me, the information is over on the Discord server as well. So take care and see you in the next video.